This is J. Krishnamurti's second discussion with teachers and students at Brockwood Park, 1969.
May I ask you a question? Yeah? Right. I wonder what you're all going to do in life. Apart from the dissection and mathematics and all part of mathematics and dissection and all the rest of it, what is it you're interested in? Of course, for the girls, if I may say so, inevitable marriage, babies and domesticity, and get lost in that till they're about 40, 50, and then start something else. I know. You don't like that? No. But that's inevitably is going to take place, one way or another, marriage or no marriage. And what is it you're vitally interested in? Or is it too early to ask that question? Seeing what the world is, how the hippies are trying to find different communes, little communities, where they want to escape from the world with all its ugliness. Business, politics, professionals like doctors, scientists, professors. What attracts you? If I was asked at your age, I wouldn't know. I couldn't possibly have said what I'm interested in. But there was already a tendency, already a feeling, a directive going on inside. And that directive, that feeling, that movement became stronger, deeper, wider as it went along. And I'm not talking about myself personally because that's not of very great importance. But is there a tendency, a feeling what you want to do? Not as a hobby, not as something that you undertake for a few years, then drop it and go on to something else, then drop it, Is there a deep underlying current? Or are going to be driven by circumstances, by pressures of society? I've got to earn a livelihood, therefore I'll become a lawyer, a worker or a professional of some kind or another, or a bureaucrat. Is this an important question or not? Hmm?
It is important.
You see, most people start out with extraordinary enthusiasm and keenness, and vitality and a drive. Then they get frustrated in one direction or another. Then they get bitter, angry with life, deeply feeling a sense of failure, and therefore take to drink or to religion or to whatever it is they take to, drugs. Or you escape into some form of enthusiastic hobby, whether it be religion or business or whatever it is, and get completely lost in there, so that you never question yourself, you never question the whole business of existence. Or if one is discontented, fed up, angry with oneself, discontented, again that soon finds contentment in a certain action, in certain activity. And then you're caught in that, and forever, until you die, you go along there. So taking all this, what is it one feels like doing? Doesn't mean that one must decide now and then stick to it. But I think, shouldn't one ask this question of oneself? And if you did ask, would you know for yourself the tendency, the feeling towards something? Or are we going to accept, which I'm not saying is right or wrong, the ordinary bourgeois established life? Or, seeing all this, you have the very seeing of it awakens your intelligence and says, I want to do something entirely different. Not as a reaction, not for some eccentric reason, but you see it and say, no, this doesn't, it smells. And I don't want to do that. I'm a little more intelligent than that. Which is not conceit, but seeing this is rather stupid, and the very seeing of what is stupid, you are already out of it. Which is no longer a reaction, therefore you might feel you want to do something which is quite different. Would it be right? I'm going on talking till you begin to warm up. Don't you think a place of this kind or a joint of this kind should expose you to all this, to a married life, to the family, expose you, show it you what it means, what is involved in it, the routine, the sexual habits, the children, the quarrels, the nagging, the domination in a family life, and out of it breaking, divorce, bitterness. That's the whole sense of that family, or little happiness now and then in that. Then in the business world, what it involves, the routine of it going on and on and on, day after day, climbing the ladder or falling down the ladder. The army. I don't know where it was said, either in India or in China, that the soldier is the most stupid human being on earth. And then all this in front, shouldn't you be exposed to it, shown it, not condemn it, say this right, this wrong, this good, this bad, but just to be exposed so that your own intelligence is awakened and observes. Perhaps this may be a rather difficult question, so let's leave it that for the moment. How do you, may I go on and ask you questions? How do you awaken intelligence? Intelligence being not cleverness, not the capacity to acquire a great deal of knowledge and use it cleverly. Intelligence surely is something more than mere capacity to absorb information, correlate it, and discuss, argue very cleverly. But intelligence is something entirely different, isn't it? What do you think is intelligence?
Isn't it the ability to, well, it involves the ability to be aware of all that's around you, to be able to see and see things in their proper relationship to each other, or as how they are.
You mean being aware of things around one and be able to relate the various fragments and see a total unity of all that and act according to that total perception.
Yes.
Would you call that intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
To be able to see not only externally, outside of one, but also inwardly, to see the body, the responsive body biologically, to be aware of the emotional responses, the sentiments, the sexual biological urges, and to see the activity of the brain, which has been conditioned for centuries upon centuries to think, to act, to protect itself and so on, and also to see that this whole movement, not as a unit, as a whole, both outwardly and inwardly. Would you call that intelligence? To be aware when one is angry, and immediately perceive the causes of anger, and to see whether it is possible to end anger immediately and not repeat the anger over and over and over again, to see if one is jealous, and so on, as a total process, not as a anger one day, jealousy another day, ambition another. The total perception of all that, would you call intelligence? Which acts, which doesn't say, well, I'm very intelligent, stops. If you go to India, I hope you will someday, there you will see poverty as you've never seen anywhere else in the world. I was born there. The parents were very, very poor. And you will see religion, which is merely greatly superstition and repetition, predominates life, dominates life, at least verbally. It's part of their existence, like bread and butter. And religion here in this country, in Europe, has also played a tremendous part, mostly superstition again. And you know the various religions throughout the world, Buddhism, Islam, Taoism, and so on, Christianity. Man has always sought something, always seeking something more than mere bread and butter, bigger bathrooms. And because his mind is very small, his attitude, his activity is very petty, shallow, he says, well, at least there is something there, much greater than all this rubbish. He projects that and worships that and lives a shoddy little life. And as a group of people here studying and all the rest of it, shouldn't you also inquire into this whole religious question? Not just brush it aside as superstition, as rubbish, but shouldn't you explore it? Because that's part of life. As you explore biology, mathematics, history, relationship between human beings, sex, and the whole living, shouldn't you also explore this question of what is religion? Not the superstition, I don't mean that. Not the dogma, the handed down beliefs, whether it is the Catholic or the Hindu or the Buddhist or whatever it is. I think it was in the caves in south of France and North Africa, Lascaux, there you will find 25,000 years ago and more, man painted pictures depicting evil and good, fighting each other, which is part of religion. But also, shouldn't you be interested not only in music, in painting, in seeing the European art, what extraordinary beauty they have put on canvas and stone, like Michelangelo. And the Italian Renaissance. Shouldn't you also look into this question of what is meditation? Because if you don't look into all that and just study mathematics, history and get a job and get married and few little children, you miss such a lot. I think this place should offer all that. Not should, must. You see, I never, if I may be a little personal, if I am, forgive me, I studied in England and I've failed every exam. I sat, I don't, God knows how many exams. Never passed one. Not only in England, but Sorbonne and other places. I couldn't do it. The people who look after me say, that's enough. Don't study anymore, because you can't do it. And I've never read any philosophy or religious books, except perhaps the Bible as the beauty of the language only, not what it said or what it believed or all the sentimental nonsense that went on about it. I'm saying, referring to myself, because I think one should be able to look at the world, not only nature, the tree, the birds, the flowers and the beauty of life outside in nature, but also one should be able to look into oneself so clearly, because there is all the history of mankind. His struggles, his ambitions, his drives, his temptations, his arrogance, his violence, his stupidity, everything is there. So shouldn't you be concerned with all this? Not just fragments of life. And if one is so concerned, out of that comes intelligence. And out of that intelligence one acts. One doesn't put it on a shelf and leave it alone there. Well, I've said enough. Now it's your turn. Do any of you play an instrument of guitar and all the rest of it?
I play guitar.
Do you write poems?
Yes, I
Do you love to Work in the garden with your hands and because if you don't, you lose something. I worked at it. Years. If you don't put your hand to the earth, you're missing something. And that's why this place has all these opportunities. It's up to you. I don't know if you were here at springtime. There are long boxes along the road, on the inside the estate, where they bred pheasants, mother and little babies, fed them carefully. And they released 2 months ago, after they'd grown up. And this month, in the coming month, they're going to shoot them.
If we can do something about this here, on Brockwood anyways, like I would like to do something about it so that they don't do it.
I don't know if you can do much, because this place is 40 acres, surrounded by all these farms, and they probably will come here and beat the bushes and drive them out and kill them.
Oh, you mean they're coming on here to kill them?
May. Because that's legally law, it is lawful. I don't know when I has to go into this, I don't know.
They're allowed to beat here. They're allowed to chase the birds off this land.
Of this land.
And then kill them
Kill
with their
them.
arm.
Do you know what they did? During the war at Hamburg, I forget now, yes, I think it was Hamburg. You know the Quaker movement? They sent a representative who is a friend I know, I still know him, to investigate what happened. First, the Allies bombed Hamburg in the center, drove the people out, and then bombed the people from the outside, drove them in, and then drove them out like that, and bombs. Do you know how many they killed? So there isn't much difference. Killing human beings and birds.
some people here might not want to work in gardens or not study or not just lazy like sometimes we are when we don't understand things. Is there anything the educators can do about it? Or
I mean, you are asking, she's asking all, not me. If one of us is lazy, doesn't want to work, doesn't want to put his hands to the earth, etc., and so on, what is one to do?
I don't think there's anything you can do. It's up to yourself.
I am part of this group. I am part of, and I am lazy. I don't want to go into the garden and do things. I don't want to tidy up. I don't want to clean up. I don't want to scrub the floors.
also about studies, I mean.
Studies,
Parents
everything,
send you to
everything.
school and you don't want to study.
Study, do everything. What are you going to do with me? Just leave me alone? And say, well, my dear chap, it's your business.
Well, I don't think it's right to force anyone to do it.
Then what will you, my lady, what will you do with me?
I don't know.
To
I think
understand.
we have to try to.
Tell me what you're going to do with me.
Well,
I want you to listen. I want you to do all the work. I want you to do all the dirt business, and I just say, well, I'm here. What will you do with me?
Well, I'll ask you to try it once at least to see if you like it. See if you can ask you to open your mind at least a little bit to it.
Yes, sir, it's a problem. Don't fool yourself.
I think, how would you answer to yourself? Because even each one of us see that one has something to do and does not want to do it. So the question applies even to oneself.
I know, but here is a fact. Don't turn it on yourself. Here is a fact. I refuse. I can't somehow. I don't want. What will you do with me? Kick me in the pants?
I'd ask why you were here.
My parents sent me here.
Throw me out?
Of course, one will talk it over.
Huh?
Of course, one will talk it over.
You talk it over with me, but tomorrow I'm still the same. This talking over is going to play with it. Huh? What will you do with me?
First, to understand the people, which is how
Here,
they can
sir,
hold
understand me. I'm lazy. I don't want to do these things. Physically, I feel repugnant about doing anything.
There must be something wrong with the physical.
There is.
If there is something wrong with it,
Then what will you do?
to find out what's wrong.
Look, you have talked to me 5 days, 6 days, you've gone with me, you've pointed out, and at the end of fortnight I'm still the same. What are you going to do with me? Something is wrong with me.
I mean, the people surrounding ought to do it. I mean, ought to find out what's wrong with him and ask the whole things, the whole community.
I agree, old boy, I agree, but
Meanwhile, he's not doing anything.
in the meantime you do all the work.
Why does one not do? Either one is exhausted to die,
No,
or
Laurent, just look at it, sir. You have talked to me. You have pointed out to me. You have given me every push. And at the end of fortnight, I do nothing. And during those fortnight, you all work, I don't. What are you going to do with me?
I'm not going to do anything with you.
Why do anything with you? It's the way you are. And we can't change you.
Then you will leave me alone?
Yeah.
And you do all the work? Doesn't that seem most unfair?
Well, it's just the way you are. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing I can do
No,
about it.
wait. You wouldn't, you are too, if you had a child, and he refused to do anything, you follow? What will you do with him? Just leave him alone?
Well, there's nothing I can do. I can't. Well, I could force them, but they won't enjoy it.
No, do look at it. Would you, if it was your child, your responsibility, would you just say, well, sorry, I leave you alone. I can't do anything, I can't beat you up. Just leave it?
I would.
You wouldn't.
Well, I would try to.
Because if you know that it's good to study because, you have to study because you have...
I'm asking you, here is a person who refuses like me to do anything. I'm part of this community.
You're a part of this community that doesn't do anything, right? I mean, you can...
You must solve it, sir. You can't say...
You see the fun in it.
You can't just leave me alone.
No, I know. I wouldn't be.
Because if you leave me alone, I should rot. You follow?
Yes.
I should become worse and worse, and it is my responsibility. Your responsibility for making me get worse and worse.
But I would try. I would try different ways. I would try one way. If that didn't work, I'd try another.
Well, one thing is, if we are saying that you are that way, then we are accepting you as a static human being.
Huh?
We're saying you are lazy.
And then what? Just leave me alone?
No, but I'm saying that the idea of your being lazy is a conclusion.
I know, but and then say, well, poor chap, he's lazy. Something is wrong.
I mean, not say it in the first place.
It is, but there it is. The fact is there.
I don't think it is the fact that he is lazy. The fact is he doesn't do certain things.
All right, I don't do certain things which the community demands. We are together in this place to do certain things. And I accept it at the beginning and refuse later on to do nothing. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous allez faire avec moi? Lazy.
Then it means that the people not belonging to the community.
No, you don't look at it. You face it. You'll have to do something. What will you do? Don't give it up. Don't give it up. Put your brains to find out what to do.
Ask why he doesn't want to do anything. Find out why.
You know what would happen in an ordinary school?
Yes.
Yes. They would be taken to that, a ball would be taken to that swimming pool and dumped in there. I've seen it.
Does that work?
The ball worked. It worked pretty quick. If he received it every day, he would soon wake up. And as you can't do that kind of stuff here, rough stuff, so what will you do? Go, think it out, sir. It's your responsibility. If you don't do anything, I get worse. I said, marvelous. These are very nice people, I'm going to exploit them. Exactly.
Well, if you need some time to discover somebody that doesn't do his work, during that time you have been adding yourself to it. You're with it yourself.
It's that you discover pretty soon after a week
Yes.
when you're all washing dishes, I go for a walk.
It also depends on your attitude.
That-
If you're irritated because you have to do the washing.
Therefore, what will you do with me to alter me?
You would have to be interested, not just interested in having
Come,
somebody
sir,
that
help
you
me.
have to do.
Help me. What will you do to make me change?
Not to try to change you, but to change myself.
No, madam. I am here, part of your community. I work for a few days and say, by Joe, it's pretty good. And at the end of the week, I don't do anything. And what am I going to do?
You would watch out very carefully. See, how does it come about? Either the person, he doesn't really see what he's doing. And he doesn't see that.
You tell him, come and help me, and he doesn't.
Then you ask why.
Yeah.
Well, it's just why, this one. Wait, maybe he's just going lazy.
Now look at your reactions. You say leave him alone. I can't do anything. Somebody else says, I've talked to him and I've done everything, but there it is. Right? Now why can't we put all our reactions together? You follow what I mean? Yours, mine, his, and so on, and find out of those reactions what's the right reaction. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that means what? That you are willing to put your opinion, your judgment on the table, and if it is wrong, you are willing to accept it's wrong and change it. You follow?
Which one?
All of you. Huh?
What about the lazy one?
I leave the lazy one out for the moment. I'm saying put me out. There are a dozen of you, or 20 of you, and say, look, this is what I think. Why he is this way, why he is that way. And you offer, she offers, and so on. We all put all our opinions and the judgments of what our conclusions are, and say, what is the right thing out of all this? Therefore, you will be quite impersonal, won't you? You follow what I mean? Your action will be completely impersonal and anonymous. Right? Which will bound to affect me. If all of you together have said this is right, all of you, that communal, anonymous saying does affect however lazy I am. But if you say, well, Maricha, poor fellow, he's that way, let him leave him alone. you belong to me. And she says, well, I've talked to him and he's that way. By nature he's that. And so gradually you discard me. You follow what I mean? And therefore I don't care. But if all of you together, I don't know if you follow what I mean. Which means you care. What happens to me?
You care. Because we care.
All of you care what happens to me. And by joy I realized these people really are, care for me. They are really thinking about me. And that does, you see how quickly you give it up?
But it's not sure that all due care can change the people.
Oh, so, what are you talking about? Unless you give care to a plant, it doesn't grow properly. If you are all indifferent, poor fellow is that way, let him go his own way, and I feel none of you care, none of you really look at me, because I don't work. You have already condemned me, and I say, all right. So you see, you've got a clue. A new boy or girl comes, and you are the community. And you're going to judge whether you should come or not come. And if each one of us can say, look, frankly, not, shyly, put everything we feel about that boy or girl, or each one of us, and see out of that what is the right thing to do, it will be completely true. And that's real cooperation. You understand what I mean? That's the real thing.
Then it's the responsibility of each one of us.
That's
altogether.
Altogether. Therefore, when I feel that it's a responsibility on each one's part, which has been, and each one has contributed to the right decision, I feel, by Jove, these people are really serious. They care for me. You follow? That does affect me. And you will see, if you do that for a few days, I'll be up the next day. I'll be best floor scrubber in the world.
Therefore, this discussing about the lazy chap must be done when the lazy chap is participating.
Of course.
Well, we have a daily meeting every morning. Would it be the same about studies also?
I think everything would be. I don't know if you have observed or know the rockets that went up to the moon. Do you know how many people worked at it? 300,000 people, I believe. Each doing, and nothing was his little part. And science is built that way. Each contributing. Not I contribute. In his experiment, he's discovered something, he gives that. So together they are built. And to cooperate really requires a great deal of intelligence. Is it time?